I take a look at the scouting again. I mean, I made the signings in the close season, and I made some good signings. Since then, nothing really that good has become available. Goalkeeper wise, we're covered because Trot is definitely on the way up still, and will be probably quite some time. Striker wise, there's just nothing here. Mind you, I'm probably looking. If I turn that off, and let's put this up to superb. See how many players we lose. Okay, I don't need a new left back. Very good. That's better. Although again, no strikers. This guy, I don't know why he keeps being recommended to me, because I don't think he's all that special. He's not a very good right back, and he's not a very good centre back. So what is he good at? Ooh, this guy looks decent. As cover. Well, I could bring him in as cover and see how he develops. He wants 475 quid every time he turns out for us, though. That ain't gonna happen. Pretty much. There's no challenge. You just buy everyone, and then what? You win everything, and then what? What do you do for the next second season? You're exactly right there. You win the league in the first season, and then you probably end up getting sacked the second. You end up doing a Ranieri. Don't even get me started on that, by the way, because I'll be here all night. Nothing's been recommended to me either. I mean, getting loads of job offers, mind. So that's good. One thing I will say is I've got another scout since last season. Let me show you the new scout. I think it's this guy here, Sean Popple. He looks pretty damn good, and I've actually passed. Was it Matthew? It might be Matthew Gearing actually, and I've actually passed. Scouting duties, like deciding who goes where. I've actually passed that over to Smith, Chief Scout. So I'm not really in control anymore of what my scouts do, and I'm kind of hoping that means that I get more players suggested to me. And to be honest, yes and no, I think is the answer to that. As you can see, there's not much variety going on here. They're always suggesting goalkeepers and defenders. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't know what the big deal is about them. What the hell's that got to do with anything? Right. Yeah. Never once have I actually said that I wanted a new defender, but I've been recommended about 12 of them. This guy, how good are you? Not very. Lewis Bond. Your name sounds familiar. You've got awesome free kick taking. I'm going to see if I can buy you. Victor Chukwudi. Hearts. Yeah, I think Hearts is a good decision. I wouldn't say that was a bad decision. As I say, I don't think you could make a bad decision out of the ones you suggested there. But I definitely wish you luck. It's not the easiest, but then where's the fun if it was? Right, so after that little scouting, I probably should focus just on the matches when I'm doing this, really. But I like showing you guys my thought process, and that seems to be something that people have reported back and say they enjoy watching. So I have no problem doing that. I used to avoid doing that, but now, don't mind. I should probably stop reading things on my phone as well. So what's going on in the world of football this week? Rooney was going to China and now he says he's not. Ashley Young is still probably going to China. Again, I'll avoid Leicester. Spurs have once again proved that they shouldn't be in Europe because they can't hold on to a lead. Not that they had one in the first place, but there you go. Man U breezed through. Man City, Monaco, everyone says how entertaining it was. It was entertaining at the time, but looking back on it, I don't know, I think I've seen better matches. You'd probably find Atletico by Leverkusen was a better match to watch, and that was 4-2. What else? Arsenal. I reckon Arsenal can still come back into their tie. I'm not suggesting they'll win it, but I'm suggesting they can come back into it, because at the Emirates they have been known to surprise teams before now. And 4-0, a 4-0 victory isn't as hard as people are suggesting it will be. There's a very good chance that Bayern might rest some of their big players now that they're 5-1 up. So we could well see a comeback. Who knows? Right, who have we got next? We've got Cray, who are 22nd in the league. And again, I think they held me to a goalless draw in the first half of the season, so I've got a point to prove against them as well. I would like to show you what our boys can actually do. Go out there and thump a team. Play good, attractive football. I got a bit of a shock actually looking back over the results, because I could have sworn that we saw more wins than that. Yeah, I'm going to try not to talk about Leicester and Ranieri, because let's put it this way, I'm Team Ranieri, and I'm also team every single one of their players should now be fined 2 weeks' wages because they've cost someone their job because they decided they didn't want to play football anymore. I mean, if people want me to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. Just, well, no, I'm not going to offend people here. No way am I going to be offending people here, because I don't think there's anyone who's going to disagree with what I have to say about it. Yeah, Leicester are a bit of a joke right now. I think it's true what people were saying. They went from wanting them to stay up. Pretty much everyone wants Leicester to go down now, just because of the way they've acted this week. And I don't blame the board. That's the weird thing about it is, normally I would say the board are wrong, they should never sack him, but I don't blame the board at all. I blame the players. You know, these players who didn't have careers until Leicester picked them up. And I have a feeling I know who, if this rumour is true that they went to the board and asked him to be sacked, I have a feeling I know who those players are, and every single one of them owes Leicester for everything. So, I mean, modern football is a joke these days. It really is. It's a real shame. Yeah. I think it should be made a rule. in football that if a manager is sacked because of poor results when the previous season they've played well. So in the case of Chelsea and this season with Leicester, because the manager's been sacked, every single member of the squad should be fined 2 weeks' wages. And I don't think that's very harsh, because obviously they've decided they don't want to play anymore this season. And that seems to be a player's decision. It seems to be something that a lot of them have come to the conclusion of. And I read something last week, I think it was, saying that now these players have been given big contracts with huge wages, they don't have an incentive anymore. And I think that's true. So how do you get back at a player that has nothing to play for? You start taking things away from them. In this case, fine them 2 weeks' wages. They might go to the PFA about it and say, you know, do something about this. It's really unfair. But if I was the person at Leicester in charge of finding players, I'd come back and say, well, they've not been doing their job, so why should we pay them? If it was that simple, there'd be a hell of a lot less of striking in football. And hopefully there's a lot of people out there right now going, here, here, talking a lot of sense. After spending, like, I don't like privileged people in the first place. Footballers especially. There are some footballers that I think they deserve to be where they are, succeeding. You know, players like, hello, why not Kibbles? Awesome name, by the way. Awesome name. Welcome to the stream. I'm mid-rant about Leicester right now, so you've joined at a good time. Where was I saying? Oh yeah, players like Diego Costa, Alexis Sanchez. You know, they grew up on the streets. They really struggled to make ends meet, and now they're centre stage where they deserve to be. You know, they've worked hard to get there. And I don't think, like this whole rumour of Costa wanting to go to China, and then he missed some matches and it turned out he was actually injured. Now that he's back from injury, he's playing just as well as he was before he supposedly got injured. Thank you for the follow, Why Not Kibbles. Awesome. Thank you very much. But then you've got players like, let's use an example, Jamie Vardy. Okay. Yes, he got dumped by, was it Sheffield Wednesday? I think he started his career with. He got dumped by them, fell into the non-league, ended up at Halifax, had a part-time job making splints, wasn't it, in a factory, or was it crutches, something like that. Moved to Fleetwood, got his big break, moved to Leicester, you know, 11 games scoring consecutively, won the league. But now, what does he look like now? He looks like a non-league player again. He runs around, like against Sevilla the other day, he just ran around like a headless chicken, ended up on the end of a very good ball, yes, but for the rest of the game he did nothing. And I have a feeling he's one of these players that's actually gone in and said something, because he's been dropped for some games this season. And to be honest, he deserves to be dropped. Yes, he deserved a new contract last season, he didn't deserve a pay rise. He needs to be reminded that he owes his career to Leicester, because if they hadn't have signed him when they did, he probably would have ended up back in the non-league again. Something that these Leicester players need to remember is they're not actually all that special. It's a team that just about avoided relegation, brought Ranieri in, and he turned them into champions. What he did made them champions. They then decided they didn't want to play for him anymore. They went back to being relegation contenders. It's not a surprise. There's no secret involved. They messed up. And at this rate, you know, managers are starting to rule themselves out because they know the squad they would inherit would be one that goes down, and there's no transfer window now that they can make changes in. That's it. Leicester are pretty much as good as gone now. They got rid of the only thing that could have kept them up. It did come up, Phenom. It came up on my screen at least. If it didn't come up on the stream, I'll check that out. But again, thank you for the follow. I did notice. I did say it at the time, but maybe it didn't go through properly. Yeah, done by Sheffield Wednesday. And I think this whole thing with Jamie Vardy's gotten way out of hand now. That they're talking about a Hollywood movie. That's ridiculous. At least wait till he retires before you start all that crap. Don't do it now, because all he's got now is an overinflated ego. Thinks he's invincible, but he's not. Nope. He should not have gone to Arsenal, because he would have ended up sat on the bench week in, week out. The Arsenal fans would have hated him. He would have hated himself. That certainly wasn't... Let's put it this way. I don't think Vardy could play in any other Premier League team. And looking at the Leicester squad, apart from Mahrez and Gray, I don't think there's a single player there that a Premier League club is looking at and thinking we should sign them. But I know for a fact, if Leicester go down, Gray will not be there next season. Mahrez will not be there next season. They'll just go. And, Gray tries his hardest. You see, I saw him make a run on, what was it, yesterday, wasn't it, they played? Yesterday? No, sorry, 2 days ago. I'm forgetting what day it is. 2 days ago, he made that really good run, and then had no one to cut it back to, and ended up being dispossessed because of it. Imagine the frustration when you put your all into it like that and it comes to nothing because someone else hasn't bothered to do their job properly. It must be so frustrating. But yeah, he'll leave and Mahrez will leave, and I think both of them deserve better than what they've had to go through, and I think Ranieri deserved better as well. I think Ranieri, if he was going to leave this season, he should have resigned with his head held high. But to be sacked like that, and for it to be discovered that they'd pretty much sacked him before the Sevilla game, that's disgraceful. Yeah, Twitch is a bit glitchy at times. I mean, I can't complain about Twitch, because most of the glitching is at my end, to be fair. But yeah, it definitely, something came up on my screen that said you followed, and I did say something at the time. But as I say, if it's a glitch, then that's absolutely fine. Thank you once again anyway for the follow. Much appreciated. Every follow is appreciated. Your name should be, yeah, most recent followers. Well, that's working at least. It is, well, not Kibbles at the moment because he was the latest, but your name was up there before, I believe. Still, if you go on the YouTube channel and watch the video back, it might come up on that. Van's rejecting new contract, but he's also rejected the other team. Swings and roundabouts. Right, who played crap in the last game? I know who played crap in the last game. Scut played crap in the last game, so I'm going to get rid of Scut. First of all, I'm going to bring McKee back in. And he's going to play there. And I'm also going to bring Messer. And this is actually... it was this team, but with Constantinu up front, that I started the season with. And did really well with. Actually, I had Olasanya. Where is he? There he is. I'm going to put Olasanya on the bench instead of Diangana. It'd be good to see Olasanya back out on the pitch. Right, let's get into the second game of the stream. Okay, they fancy us to win this one. If we do win this, wow, we've dropped quite a bit. We were 6th just now. But if we do win this one, will you go back up to 6th? It's amazing what one defeat can do though, isn't it? Suddenly we're right down in the dark depths again. That's not good. I'm just going to check. I know it's going to be frozen for you for a second. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that. No. What did I want? I don't know actually. I don't think I can change it now. Can anyone hear the Can anyone hear the game volume okay? Not quite sure. I can hear it through my monitor, fine, but I can't see it coming up on the OBS volume levels. WS Vodka, welcome to the stream. Don't forget to leave a follow if you're enjoying it. Also go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/M4J3FFR135. I'll probably change that handle in the future actually. I'm considering rebranding. Not very loud. Okay. I'm a bit worried if I do turn it up. Actually, I suppose I could turn my... Oh, that's a good goal. I could turn my monitor volume down. Let me do that. Again, it's going to freeze again for a second. I do apologise for that. There must be a way I can change. No. No. Okay. I'll turn it up to that. Alright. Look at that. Great ball by McKee. First game back in the squad. And he goes and sets up a great goal. Or helps set up a great goal. Walker with the ball across to Amos. And it ended up in the back of the net. Good finish. It's strange. I actually started this season with the 4-2-3-1 formation. And I didn't change it because we were playing bad. I changed it because of injuries. And I think there was a suspension as well. I changed it back to the 3-2-2-2-1. Whatever it is. And yeah, I'd say that both formations work, and both formations have provided wins for us. So I think what I'm trying to say is it looks as though the squad is starting to become very versatile as well, which is a very, very good sign. Being able to play in more than one formation, it does mean that in certain games I've actually been losing, swapped from this formation to the 4-2-3-1 and got back into it. The game that we won 4-3 after being 3-0 down, I switched to a 4-2-3-1 in that game as well, and it worked. So it's a very good sign when your team starts to become versatile like that, or at least it is for me. There's a lot of things. I'm a bit. Again, I'm in like a Leicester mode with this. I'm a bit annoyed that these players weren't performing this well last season, but there could be other factors involved. So I'm not too upset. Obviously, these are still a group of young players. They're still learning their trade. So there's very much a chance that that is the key factor. One day it all just clicked. Bringing in players like, Edge down the left-hand side. Edge and Morrison work really well together down the left-hand side. Walker and Andrew have worked well down the right hand side. When Walker's been suspended or injured, Anderson's come in and done just as good a job. Simpson on the left hand side as well if Morrison's out for any reason. Up front, Amos and Constantinou both in the goals this season, and Jones as well has not so much scored, but has been involved. Yeah, loan signings are always a good solution. I mean, I've got some good loan players here. Hawkins has come in. I can't even count the number of times I've subbed Hawkins into matches just to see out results. I mean, I'm looking there. Daniel Van not playing a very good game. Problem solved. Put on Hawkins. And this is going to sound a bit stupid in the 84th minute when we're trying to see out a result, but I'm actually going to go from counter-attacking to overload, just to get the ball up the pitch more, rather than towards our own goal. The best form of defence is offence. Remember that. Always try and score. I mean, I'm like the entertainers in Newcastle back in the 90s. Always try and score one more than the opposition. Christian, welcome to the stream. Anyway, we've just won. Look at that, and that puts us back up to 6th, where we belong. There is a bit of a gap now. 4 points between us and Hastings in 5th. Sorry, 4 points between us and 5th. That's what I wanted to say. And then there's another 2 points after that to Needham. We are currently 15 points off top, so we need to go on a good run. Not just 5 games unbeaten, but 5 straight wins, and hope that it goes unanswered. But still, in the right direction. And that's a good game. It was only a 1-0 win. Normally that's not that exciting, but it was a good game, good goal. That's what matters. We're giving the fans what they want, and we're giving the board what they want too. It's good. I'm happy. I don't mind winning just 1-0. A win's a win. If it's an exciting 1-0, and there are such things as exciting 1-0 wins, there's such thing as an exciting 0-0 draw as well. I've seen many for Stevenage in the past where you don't quite understand how a team didn't score in that game. Right, Bognor Regis at home now. Another grudge match. Your chairman is a chairwoman. That's something when I... Oh, I've got bad news about Dinsmore, I'm afraid. When I first started doing teams in the editor, I always gave myself at least one woman on the board. And I always made her ruthless. Because to be fair, I mean, Karen Brady, she's a nice person, but can be ruthless when necessary. And that's exactly what I needed. And sure enough, always having someone looking over my shoulder, making sure I was doing things properly, it certainly is a motivational tool. But that Charlesworth has just signed for us. What a name, by the way. Yeah, Dinsmore, we had to let go. Not last season, but the season before. Because we just avoided relegation, and we had 2 strikers, both with a finishing of 7. Not the best. So Constantinou with a finishing of 13 at the time, and Akinuli with a finishing of 12, were both promoted to... Sorry, I just heard a funny noise out the window. They were both promoted to the first team during the course of that season. And at the end of the season, Dinsmore and Clifton both left. So it's a shame. And I do still say that Dinsmore is probably the best striker that's ever played for the Hatfield. But we needed to make the change. And since then, we've risen up the table in 2 consecutive seasons. So I think it was a sacrifice that needed to... Excuse me, I've got hiccups now. My God, I'm just failing completely tonight. it was a sacrifice that needed to be made. That's what I wanted to say. In fact, where should we find out where Dinsmore is now? Alex Dinsmore. He's at Felixstowe. Oh, his finishing's gone down. Yeah, look, 19. So he made 33 appearances, 31 goals, 34 appearances, 33 goals, 28 appearances, 31 goals, and then 19 appearances, 8 goals. Now it's his time up. 43 appearances, 11, 22 and 2. So I think he's found his level. Again, it's sad to say, but I think he has found his level. Bear in mind, he'd only scored 1 goal in only 9 appearances before he joined us. So definitely, he had a good run.